Consistency is not something that comes naturally. It's not something that falls into your lap when you feel like it. It's a choice, a discipline, and a decision you make every single day, regardless of how you feel. The truth is, feelings will betray you. One day you'll feel motivated. The next day you'll feel tired, unmotivated, or even hopeless. If you allow your emotions to dictate your actions, you will never get anywhere meaningful. Success doesn't reward moods, it rewards consistency. Think about the people you admire, the ones who built something lasting. They didn't become who they are because they worked hard only on the days they felt inspired. They became great because they kept showing up on the days when it was inconvenient, uncomfortable, and uncertain. That's the key. Forcing yourself to stay consistent even when your mind tells you to quit. Consistency is the bridge between goals and achievement. It's not about doing one great thing once. It's about doing small, faithful things repeatedly. Every repetition compounds. Every day you push through resistance adds weight to your character. Every time you choose discipline over distraction, you add bricks to the foundation of your future. There will always be obstacles, unexpected problems, setbacks, failures, disappointments. These are not signs that you should stop. They are opportunities to prove your commitment. If everything was easy, everyone would win. The separation between those who succeed and those who fail is not talent, luck, or intelligence. It is consistency. But consistency requires force. You won't always want to get up early. You won't always want to make the call, go to the gym, study the book, or invest in your growth. That's why you must demand it of yourself. Success requires forcing yourself to take action regardless of convenience. You must decide, I will be consistent, not because I feel like it, but because it's who I am becoming. The truth is, when you push yourself to stay consistent, you begin to transform. Your habits change, your mindset strengthens, your confidence grows because you start to trust yourself. And when you trust yourself, you stop doubting whether you can achieve your goals. You know you will because you know you won't quit. That's the power of consistency. It builds unshakable belief. So stop waiting for the right time. Stop waiting for motivation. Stop waiting for someone else to hold you accountable. Force yourself to do what needs to be done. Consistency is not about perfection. It's about persistence. Even if you stumble, even if you fail, get back up and keep moving. Every step counts. Every effort compounds. And one day you'll look back and realize that the force you applied to stay consistent became the very reason you succeeded. Consistency is a choice, not a feeling. This is the first truth you must understand if you are serious about creating a meaningful life. Too many people rely on feelings to decide their actions. They wake up in the morning, and if they feel tired, they hit snooze. If they feel uninspired, they delay their goals. If they feel unmotivated, they choose comfort over discipline. But here's the reality. Feelings are temporary, unreliable, and inconsistent. If you let them control your behavior, your results will be temporary, unreliable, and inconsistent too. Consistency is about separating your actions from your emotions. It's about deciding that what you want in the long run is more important than what you feel in the moment. You don't build a strong body by going to the gym only when you feel motivated. You don't build a thriving business by working on it only when inspiration strikes. You don't build financial stability, strong relationships, or a resilient mindset by acting only when it feels easy. You build all of those things by showing up daily, regardless of how you feel. That's why consistency is a choice, a decision you make every day, every moment, no matter the circumstance. The greatest lie people tell themselves is that they need motivation to act. Motivation is overrated. It's nice when it's there, but it's not reliable. What truly matters is discipline. Discipline means doing what must be done even when you don't want to. And the truth is, discipline is born out of choice. You choose to act even when everything in you screams for comfort. That choice repeated enough times becomes a habit, and that habit eventually creates a lifestyle. Let's take an example. Imagine someone who decides to learn a new skill like public speaking. In the beginning, they're excited, motivated, and full of energy. They practice daily, but then life gets busy. They feel tired. They feel nervous. They feel like skipping practice. If they base their actions on feelings, they'll quit within weeks. But if they base their actions on choice, they'll show up regardless of how they feel. Over time, that choice will compound and they'll master the skill, not because they were the most talented, but because they were the most consistent. Every choice to remain consistent is a deposit into the future you want. Each time you follow through, you strengthen your identity. You start to see yourself as reliable, disciplined, trustworthy. This is powerful because once your identity changes, your actions naturally follow. You no longer have to fight with yourself to stay consistent. You act in alignment with who you've become. But this process starts with forcing yourself to choose action over comfort, discipline over feelings, persistence over procrastination. It's not easy. There will be mornings when you want to quit, days when you feel defeated, moments when everything in you says, just stop. But those moments are the very reason consistency matters. They are the test. And every time you choose consistency over quitting, you pass the test. You grow stronger. You build resilience. You prepare yourself for bigger challenges and greater victories. Consistency is not glamorous. It's not about big, flashy wins. It's about the small, quiet decisions you make daily. The decision to wake up early, the decision to make that call, the decision to stay focused, the decision to keep moving forward when progress seems slow. These choices may not feel significant in the moment, but over time, they shape your destiny. When you finally succeed, people will look at your achievements and call you lucky, talented, or gifted. They won't see the countless days you forced yourself to stay consistent when you didn't feel like it. They won't see the moments of doubt you fought through. They won't see the choice after choice after choice you made to stay committed. But you'll know that it wasn't luck, it was consistency. One of the greatest misconceptions people carry is that success comes to those who feel good about what they're doing all the time. They imagine that the people at the top, athletes, entrepreneurs, leaders, are always motivated, always positive, and always enthusiastic about their work. But that is far from the truth. The reality is, even the most successful people battle fatigue, doubt, discouragement, and resistance. The difference is they don't allow their moods to dictate their movements. They move regardless. Your mood is fleeting. You can wake up in the morning feeling unstoppable, and by the afternoon, a single negative event can completely shift your attitude. If you tie your consistency and performance to that roller coaster of emotions, you'll never achieve sustained success. True achievement demands persistence, not mood-based effort. Persistence means continuing forward when it's hard, when it's boring, when it's repetitive, when it feels like progress is invisible. It means showing up not because you're in the mood to, but because you've made a commitment. Success doesn't come to people who work only when they feel good. It comes to people who persist even when they feel terrible. Consider a long-distance runner. At the beginning of the race, adrenaline is high, the mood is strong, and the energy is flowing. But as the miles stack up, fatigue sets in. Muscles ache. The body screams to stop. The mood at mile 2 is not the same as the mood at mile 20. But the runner who persists, who keeps putting one foot in front of the other despite the lack of good feelings, is the one who finishes the race. Success works exactly the same way. Most people fail not because they lack ability, but because they lack persistence. They quit when their moods shift. They stop when excitement fades. They allow temporary emotions to kill long-term potential. If you want to success, you must decide that your commitment is stronger than your mood. Persistence builds momentum. Every time you persist when your mood says quit, you create a pattern of resilience. You're training yourself to be reliable, not fickle. And reliability over time produces massive results. Success at its core is the reward for persistence, the unshakable decision to keep moving no matter how you feel. We often overestimate the power of big, dramatic moments and underestimate the power of daily, consistent actions. The truth is, success is rarely the result of one giant leap. It's the outcome of many small steps taken consistently over time. Small actions may not seem significant in the moment, but when repeated daily, they accumulate into life-changing results. Think of compound interest in finance. A small investment made consistently grows exponentially over the years. The same principle applies to your life, your habits, and your goals. Reading a few pages of a book each day may not feel like much, but over a year, it's dozens of books and hundreds of ideas shaping your mind. Exercising for 30 minutes may seem insignificant today, but in 6 months, it transforms your health. Making one sales call a day may not change your life in a week, but after a year, you'll have connected with hundreds of potential clients. The challenge is that small actions don't provide instant gratification. They often feel boring, routine, and easy to dismiss. That's why so many people ignore them. They want dramatic breakthroughs without the daily discipline. But here's the truth. Breakthroughs are built on the back of small actions done consistently. The big moment you're waiting for won't come unless you lay the groundwork through simple, repeated effort. When you choose small actions daily, you're not just moving closer to your goal, you're building habits. And habits are the foundation of your future. Once a positive action becomes a habit, it takes less willpower to maintain it, and it begins to shape your identity. Brushing your teeth, for example, is such a small action you barely think about it. But imagine the consequences if you ignored it daily. Now imagine the positive impact of small habits like reading, exercising, saving money, or practicing gratitude done consistently. They transform every area of your life. Another powerful truth is that small actions stack. They build momentum. At first, progress seems invisible. You may wonder if the effort is worth it, but after enough repetitions, the results start to appear, then accelerate. This is the law of accumulation. The small things, compounded over time, produce massive outcomes. Every great achievement you see today, a successful business, a healthy body, a strong relationship, was built not by one big act, but by thousands of small, consistent actions. Success is not sudden, it's stacked. So stop waiting for the big break, the perfect opportunity, or the magical day when everything changes. Start with the small actions you can control today. Do them daily. Repeat them even when it feels like nothing is happening, because over time, those small choices will lead to extraordinary results. Consistency is the hidden power that separates dreamers from achievers. It doesn't ask you to be perfect, it asks you to keep showing up. Every small step you take in discipline builds the foundation of your future. Force yourself to be consistent, and you will discover that the life you desire is not built in one moment of greatness, but in the quiet, daily decision to never give up. The power of your future lies in your consistency